Hi guys, I'm so excited to finally have another video for you today. So today I'm sharing one of my most requested videos, and this is all about potty training and my tips and tricks on potty training, what helped me, and how I trained my Pomeranians. So this can apply to any puppy or dog. All dogs learn a little bit differently, but I feel like these tips and tricks will really help you make the process go a lot smoother and allow you to enjoy your dog a lot better. So here I have Emma, and as you know, I also have my other dog Bella, but she didn't want to be in the video today, which is okay. So I just wanted to go over some of the key things that you want to do when you're starting to potty train your new dog. So the first thing is consistency. Consistency is making sure that you stick with the process no matter how tough or hard it gets, because just keep in mind that the puppy years are the most important for training. All the other years, it'll get so much better and easier, but you really got to stick with the process right when you get them. From the first day that you get them all the way until they're trained. Keep the process going. Consistency. The second process is sometimes a little bit harder for people to grasp, but it is to confine. You want to confine your dog and not let them roam around and make a mess everywhere. This is actually really important because they need to learn that they can only go in a certain part. So you either teach them to go outside, or you can teach them to go on a pad if you have like a really tiny dog. But I think most people want to teach their dog to go outside, and this is where the confinement part comes in really important. The third one I like to use is keyword. So keyword is a word that you use that helps your dog associate going to the bathroom. So for example, with my dog Bella, I use the keyword outside. So when I say, let's go outside, she knows that it's time to go and use the bathroom. Even when we're already outside, I sometimes say, Bella, go outside, and she knows that that means to use the bathroom and go pee or poop or whatever she needs to do. With Emma, I actually had to kind of train her on a different word. I wish I used the same word, but I trained her to use the word go potty. And that's because I first trained her to go on pads, but now we're just solely outside, and I'll talk more about that later, but she learned to use the keyword go potty. So when I take her outside, I say go potty, and then she knows that that's what she needs to do. Another super important thing to do is praise and reward your dog. So when they do the positive thing that you want them to do, so going outside, when they actually go and do their business there, you want to praise them and encourage them to keep doing that there. So if they do that, you want to give them treats or lots of cuddles and hugs and say, good girl, good job, and give them a few treats and just show them that that's like amazing that they did that, and that will help with positive reinforcement, and they will keep wanting to do that every time, and they'll learn that that's a good thing. So what I like to do is follow a timeline throughout the day. So especially when you get your new dog, you kind of already need to have this planned out and have a very scheduled day with their training. So what I do is I wake up, always take the dog out right away. Don't even worry about yourself. I don't even fully dress up. I just throw on some quick clothes, don't do my hair or anything, and then I take the dogs outside because they've been waiting all night. They've been closed or wherever you have them all night, so they needed to go out right away. So when they go out, they'll just do their business. So as soon as you let them out of wherever they're confined, they will go and do their business. So that you want that spot to be outside. So wake up, take them out right away. They do something or both things, praise them. That's such a good thing that they did that outside. Okay, so next, now they did their business, you can let them inside. Usually you want to feed them breakfast, right? So you let them eat breakfast, and then after they eat food, you want to keep track about 30 minutes. They're probably going to need to go outside again, especially to do number 2. Sometimes they don't, if they already did that in the morning when you took them out, but I was just let them go out again quickly just to make sure, especially if you need to go to work, let them outside again right before you leave. Okay, so Once you take them out and they do something, you'll know that they are probably going to be good for at least a couple hours. The younger they are, the more often they need to go outside. So as they get older, this period of time that they can hold it in will get much longer, so they can hold it in much longer, which is so much easier, but you just have to get through that phase where they need to go out very often. So once they go out and do their business, you'll know that they'll be good for a couple of hours. So you can let them inside the house roam around, only attended. So when they're young puppies, never let them roam around the house unattended. This is good for safety, just because you don't want them chewing on something they shouldn't be, like cords or like your shoes, but also you want to make sure that they don't do their business again somewhere inside. So if you can't watch them, so if you want to watch them, play with them, you can let them be out just freely, but you have to always be with them. If you can't always just be with them playing, like you want to go cook dinner while they're like over there, you need to keep them in a playpen or something like that. So I will link all the tools that I use down in the description bar, but a playpen is a great tool because they have plenty of room to play, and you can keep their water there and like some toys, but they're still confined. They still have enough room, but they're in one spot, so you know that they won't be getting into any trouble. So some time goes by and it's time for them to go out again. Usually I do about 3 or 4 hours in between each time taking them out. So with a playpen, it is a bit harder because sometimes they can go in there because it is a larger space. Crates are a little bit different, and I'll go over crates at the end of the day of this timeline. But I do recommend using crates, and some people really don't want to, but this is such a great tool and it helps the process go much faster. Okay, so you take them out and you just repeat that every couple of hours. So like, you have to learn your dog, but like 2 to 4 hours is a good time frame to take them out, like every 2 to 4 hours. And even at night, that's like the worst part, is like I remember waking up in the middle of the night having to take Bella out because she could only hold it in for like 4 hours. So literally I was waking up and taking her out and letting her out. Also, we lived in an apartment, so that made it like so much worse, but whatever, at least she got through that. But okay, so now you get to the end of the day, and before bed, definitely you want to take them out again, like right before you go to bed. So if you do all your stuff and then take them out right away. And then for the night, you want to keep them in a very confined space. So dogs kind of work like this so that they don't want to soil their own area. So if you have, let's see, for example, a dog like Emma. So Emma also used a crate, and you don't want to feel bad for them because they actually don't mind it, like just for sleeping. They shouldn't be in there all day. I'm definitely not saying that, but I think for night it's fine, because where else are they going to sleep? They're just going to sleep in some little spot anyways. So what you want to do is get a size appropriate crate. A huge crate is not going to work for like a small dog like Emma, but for a larger dog like a golden retriever, you definitely need to get a bigger crate. So I'll link the crate that I used down below, but and it comes in multiple sizes, but basically you want to make sure that it's size appropriate. So it doesn't have to be like this small, but just like, like just so they have enough room to like turn around and get comfortable. And also you want to put a little bed in there. So you want them to stay in the crate, because that way, instead of soiling their area, they will actually like cry or bark and let you know that they need to go out. Because if you leave them in the playpen at night, they will just pee somewhere because they have lots of room, so they can just stay on the other side. But if you make it very confined, just so that it's enough room like for them to turn around, then then they won't want to soil their area, and they'll want to keep it clean, and they will let you know that they need to go out. Okay, so Bella decided to join us. She wanted to be with us now. As you can see, they just recently got groomed. I groomed them myself. I have another video about that. But as I was saying, so you want to keep them confined and make sure it's a size appropriate crate. Alright, so also, you know, if you're taking them out every like 2 to 4 hours, I think at night 4 hours is fine, but they'll let you know when they need to go out. You really don't want them to use the crate, because then they're gonna learn like that they can just pee in there, and that's like really bad. So you need to be taking them out more often if they're going in the crate. Also, you know, keep praising them, keep that going so that they know that it's good that they're going outside. So you want to keep the schedule going and kind of adjust as they grow older and as they start to learn. So let's say, for example, your dog has an accident, like you left it out, you know, to play, and then you kind of got distracted and it has an accident. What do? This is what I would do. Honestly, I would take the dog there, I would say no, and then I would take it outside and then walk it around and wait for it to do its business. And then once it does, praise it a lot so that they know that's positive, they only go out there. But really, you want to avoid those situations where you're not watching them, because that will just make it so much easier, and if you have a more controlled timeline. If you need to go to work, for example, like you work 8 hours and then like a commute, so you're gone like 9 to 10 hours a day, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to invest in having somebody come and walk your dogs. Like I had to do that with them. Or like, you know, have your friend or someone else who lives at your house do it, but otherwise you can use like the apps or just look for somebody that you trust to come during the day and walk your dogs, so that they do get walked in between that time frame, because you don't want them to sit in the crate like all day while you're at home. So, while you're not at home. So it's good to have somebody come and walk them so that they still stay on that schedule. Okay, so now I want to go over a little bit of pad training and why I don't recommend it, because this is from my experience with Emma, but I first got her and I already trained Bella to go outside solely, but I wanted Emma to be able to go on the pads because she can't hold it as long as Bella can, and it was like cold and it was really hard for me to take them out together, especially in the winter because we lived in an apartment. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, I'll just train her to go on the pads. But, you know, she actually learned pretty quick to go on the pads, and the way I did this was I kept her in the playpen with the pad there, and then like every 4 hours, instead of taking her outside, I would take her to the pad and I would say the keyword like go potty, and then when she would do it I would praise her the same. But the only thing is that like she did get it in our first apartment, but then when we moved she could not relearn it. Like we had so much problems, like she would go on like random rugs because she thought it was the pad, or like she would just like sometimes use it and sometimes not, and like I just couldn't retrain her. It was way too difficult, and then we moved again, so it's just really hard for her to learn, and now she's consistently going only outside and she doesn't have any more issues. So that's just one of the reasons why I really don't recommend pad training, because I feel like it's kind of confusing to the dogs. Like, you know, they don't really get, like, if you let them go outside and inside. Like, if you never let your dog go outside, then maybe that'll work for you. But if you want them to go outside and inside, I think that that's probably not the best solution, and I think you should just, like, try to teach them to go only outside. So that's mainly all the tips and tricks that I have. I really hope that that helps some of you and that you just keep going. And even though it's, like, super hard and you may get frustrated, don't feel bad, because everyone who gets a dog has to go through that. Especially just enjoy their small young years, and just, you know, think of it as a learning process. The other thing I wanted to say is I do get some questions kind of that I wanted to answer that, you know, a lot of people ask, and I think that it may help. So some people ask is, how long does it take to train your dog? And honestly, I would say that it's very different depending on the dog breed, like personality. There's just so many factors that affect this. Like, for example, Bella took probably like at least 6 months to like fully train it. You know, like they do get better after a couple weeks, but like to fully learn, I would say like 6 months to even a year. I think it's probably a little easier if they have a house instead of an apartment, but Bella probably like 6 months to a year to like fully, you know, like no accidents at all. But Emma learned probably in like only a couple months. She was really good, but then, you know, I had to have that whole issue with retraining her in our new apartment and house. But now it's like they are perfect. They almost never go unless like we don't take them out in time, you know, but now they even go and ask. Like Bella is really smart and she'll like go ask at the door. She'll sit there, kind of scratch on the door, and then that's like a sign. She just learned that by herself. She already knows that she needs to go there. The other thing is that you'll start to learn signs that your dog needs to go out. So each dog kind of has its own signs, but the most common signs I've noticed like that both of them have is wandering around or kind of pacing back and forth quickly. So usually I can tell like Bella, when she starts to pace back and forth quickly, that usually means she needs to go number 2 outside. And when Emma starts kind of wandering around, sniffing around sneakily, that's how I know she needs to go outside quickly. So once I see those signs, you know, I have to keep an eye out for those, and I take them out quickly, and then when they do their business, I still praise them. Even to this day, I always say, good girl, you know, and I pet them, and so that they know that they're still doing something good. Another common question is, do I have to use a crate? I mean, you don't have to, but that's just the method that I did, and I feel like that's the most commonly recommended method because dogs, like, you know, they like to have a small, safe space, and I think that works the best. Just in my experience and like all my family who've ever had dogs, we've always used the crate method, and you just can't let yourself feel bad because if you spoil your puppy too much, they're honestly going to get a little nasty and spoiled. And when they get older, you're going to wonder, oh, how come my dog like still does all this like naughty stuff? And that's because you didn't instill those good behaviors when they were young. That is super important with like all training and puppy advice, is that you have to be a little more strict when they're young, so that when they're older, they act super good and, you know, that they learn, you know, good from bad. Okay, so that's just my main tips and tricks and how I train my Pomeranians to go outside, and all about potty training that I could think of. If you have any other questions, leave them down below and I'd be happy to answer. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe this video to help support my channel, and let me know if there's any other videos you guys would like to watch. Thank you. Bye.